Hey guys, it's Iblis here, the Baron's Finest, coming at you with a deck profile of my Mermail deck from my recent win from my Code of the Duelist win-a-box. I want to play in this deck because of the fact that I haven't been playing really since Links came out, and I didn't feel like dealing with rulings half the time on it, so I kind of just played this. Honestly, I feel like this deck is a giant 50-50 in the meta, but that's kind of why I went with it. Because in theory, you 50-50 about every deck in the game. You do have in my opinion, you have a hard time with dinosaurs, but at the same time, I barely know that deck, so that didn't help when I played against it, which is my round 1 pairing. But regardless, small tournament report. Round 1, I played against True King Yang Zing Dinosaur. He kind of just blew me out. That was a 2-0. That was my round 2. Yeah, that was my round 2. Excuse me. Round 1 was against Cyber Angel, Prediction Princess. I think you know how that went. That was a 2-0. Then I got 2-0'd playing against True King Yang Zing Dinosaur. Then round 3, I played against my friend Josh. He was playing ABC. He bricked game 3. I kind of just had the nuts for an OTK. And then round 4, I played against my friend Casey, who also was playing ABC. He kept me at bay for a while, but game 3, he just couldn't draw a monster for the life of him, so it was very difficult for him to come back. But we're going to get started on the deck list. Some changes were made literally on the night of the win-a-box. So there are some things that are technically not arguably optimal, but I did like at least the main deck for the most part. But to start off with, we played triple Mermail Abyss Megalo. One of the best cards in the deck. It's your OTK card. I always feel like with triple Net Abyss, I feel like 3 is always the correct thing to do. I have a hard time feeling anything otherwise. And then we have 3 Mermail Abyss Teus. Arguably, this card is okay. It kind of got in there a couple times. Early initiation, it's only really good if you draw it with Dragoons, and then you don't draw your 2 targets, which are 1 pike and 1 gun. Part of me wanted to go the second gun, but I didn't feel like because I felt like because I was playing such a small Mermail lineup, it wasn't that good. But I like this small little Mermail package. I am excited for the new one when it comes out. I'll be playing like 1 of the new one, just because it doesn't trigger Atlanteans, if I understand rulings right. Speaking of Atlanteans, we have the best Atlantean in the entire deck. 3 Mermail, or Nectabus, the Atlantean Prince. This card is dumb. This card literally says 1 card, grab most of your deck. This card is insane. It's Monster Reborn for your Atlanteans. It's a combo card. It's a starting engine. It's, in my opinion, the best card in the entire deck. Especially how it works with Dragoons. Because, we can only play 2 Dragoons. Wish we could play 3, but we can't. 2 copies of Atlantean Marksman. Arguably the worst of the Atlanteans, but it still gets in there. I actually did get an OTK off because of this card, because it could summon Neptibus from my deck, which the 800 is exactly what I needed to get in for game. And then we also have our triple heavy infantry. Really good card. I like the spot removal. I never started it out. I started 1 marksman out a lot, but I do like the Atlantean lineup. And then for our supporting cast of neither Mermails nor Atlanteans, aka just the rest of the deck, the 1 Diva's Bay. If you open this card going first, you just delinquent duo your opponent. It's so dumb. 1 Mullen Glacia, aka delinquent duo. 2 Game Seal. I arguably should have played 3 of this. I did side the 3rd, but I mained the Glacia instead. I might move Glacia to the side, but I feel like if you can game 1 delinquent duo your opponent, it's pretty good. I mean, I like that a lot. I feel like that's a really strong play when you can delinquent duo your opponent just out of nowhere. And then for more of the supporting cast, 1 Aqua Spirit and 1 Silent Angler. I know no one's gonna know what this card does. So it's a level 4 water fish, 800 by 14. If you control water, you can special it from your hand, but you can't special summon monsters from your hand for the rest of the turn. So the reason I did go 1-1 instead of 2 Aqua Spirit is because of the fact that Aqua Spirit sucks really early on. An angler sucks in certain chains of your combos. Excuse me, but this card also just lets you make Trish so easily, especially if it's like Diva summon Marksman, summon this, there's your Trish, especially if you don't have a graveyard. And then for our hand traps, we only played 3. We played 1 Maxi and then double Ghost Ogre. I never drew these all day. Or no, I drew these like once, I think, but I still lost that game. But what can you do? I usually main deck the piece, but I decided, hey, let's try hand traps. They're good cards, and overall I like them. Especially when your opponent tries to take the Maxi challenge against you, but no one really took the challenge against me. Which honestly I don't know why they didn't. If they knew they had the OTK, because it's not like Mermails really play hand traps typically to stop them. Anyways, for spells, 1 Raigeki, 1 for 1, aka another copy of Niphtibis, 1 Upstart Goblin, 1 Soul Charge, and then I played Mizuchi still. You can argue about which one is the best depending on the format. I still feel like stopping spells is a really important thing. Then we played Double Twin Twisters. Best back row removal for this deck in my opinion. You just want to be able to turn off back row like as fast as you can, as responsive as you can in almost any game state. So I feel like this is the best one. Plus, if you discard Gund, Profit, Double Pot of Desires, aka Pot of Greed, I forever preach this card being Pot of Greed. And then, last but not least, for our last spell we played triple Moray of Greed. So, Moray of Greed, honestly, it's a good and a bad card, because I felt like every time I had to Moray, I just didn't typically draw enough of the pieces I needed. But I don't feel like I would cut this for anything, just because of the fact that it's like, oh, I got Mulligan. That's pretty good. And then for our last card, which is our 40th card in the deck, 1 Imperial Order. Drew this once, didn't even matter, but Imperial Order, lock your opponent out of spells. Pretty good. For the extra deck, this is not optimal. There are some cards I would arguably cut, but some cards I feel like are still really good. For Synchros, I played 1 Tatsunoko. There's actually a majority of this extra deck is actually Synchros, especially since we don't play Instant Fusion, because Norton's banned, and I didn't know how much value I was going to get out of Rare Fish and Theseus. 1 Armory Arm, 1 Chanbara, I got in there a couple times with this card. Coral Dragon, really solid Synchro. I like this card a lot. I played this over Brio, mainly because of the fact that, like, when this dies, you draw a card out of it, and you still get double value when you discard an Atlantean, so I didn't feel like bouncing 1 and popping 1 compared to like just popping 2 and drawing a card if it dies or just leaves the field. And then a Synchro that really got me in there, White Aura Dolphin. So I know not a lot of people are going to know what this card does, so we're going to read it real fast. I'm sorry, I don't feel like editing this. But White Aura Dolphin is a level 6 water fish, 24 by Thou. Needs a tuner and then 1 or more non-tuners, and then once per turn, you can target a face-up monster your opponent controls. Its attack becomes half its original attack until the end phase of this turn, and if it's destroyed by an opponent's card, be it battle or card effect, you can, and if it's sent to the grave, you can banish 1 other water from your graveyard, special summon it, and then if you do, it becomes a tuner. So that's actually really cool because of the fact that a lot of, like, if you go first, your tip, and then you open the Diva, your first turn board will typically end on Glacia this. You can also end on Coral Dragon if you want, but I like this just because it's like, oh, they broke my board. Alright, you have to break through this 6 times. Unless you kaiju it. But, you know, breaking through this card 6 times by destruction. That's really cool. And the reason I say 6 is because when you open up Diva on first turn, and you do the Glacia combo with this, then you end up with 5 waters in grave. If they kill the Glacia, then it becomes a 6. And then for other Synchros, we played Gungnir. I also played the Whale, but I honestly never made this card. I thought about making it once, but I think I'm just going to cut it. It never came up. Probably my most made Synchro, Trish. This card is insane. This card is like get out of jail free card. I love Trish. Everyone kept saying I hate how Mermails make Trish so easily. This card is just good. And then one Leo, Defender the Sacred Tree. I never made this, but I don't feel like I'd cut it, realistically. And then for our Ixies, we only played 6, actually, which is smaller than what I normally do. One Cat Shark, and I actually played 2 rank 2s, and one was Sky Cavalry Centuria. This card actually was really solid on paper. I never made an execution, but there were a lot of times where I wanted to. But it was just like, my strings didn't let me. But I definitely would actually keep this card in. And then for rank 4s, we played one Abyss Dweller, and then one number 37 Hope Woven Dragon Spider Shark. Dweller got in there like once or twice, but that was about it. I can hold cards, guys, I promise. And then for 7s, Big Eye never made it, and then the 7 that got me in there so much was Flare Metal. This card is dumb. When I played against my friend Josh, I burned him like on top. Well, this just sat on the board the entire game, and I just burned him for 500, like down to 100 life basically. I kept poking him too, but he just couldn't deal with like how much like first turn Flare Metal actually put in on him. Then for the side, we played the 3rd game of Seal, and then the regret of the side was 2 Zaphion the Time Lord. I was expecting a little bit more true Draco variants, but I never saw any. Honestly, this should have just been Denko. Kind of wish I had the Denko, but oh well. And then for spells, we played the 3rd Twin Twister, 2 Book of Eclipse. I think I maybe sided this in once. I don't even remember. Double Dark Hole, good cards. Double Forbidden Chalice, also good cards. My surprise cards, I guess, which I never drew them, were 1 Skill Drain, and then 2 copies of Gozen Match. I feel like these cards honestly just throw people off so much, especially Gozen. People are just kind of all over the place right now with like what they're playing, so half the time their deck isn't going to be one attribute. So if you can just Gozen them like mid-play or something, it's just value. It's so much value in just like, hey, stop. And Skill Drain is just like Chalice, but, you know, keep effects negated. Plus, if you have Megalo equipped with Mizuchi, that's pretty big. And then last but not least, we have 2 copies of Solemn Strike, because we wound up not main decking these, and these are only super good going first, in my opinion, or against True Draco. But that is going to do it for this deck profile, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me some feedback. It does help out a lot. Honestly, it does. But I know I said there were some videos coming. I need to actually make them. So we will be getting those videos out to you sooner rather than later. And let's actually go ahead and get a little... I don't know why I just like make it a point to be like, I have to do this every time I make a deck profile. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, yada yada. I do have one more deck profile that's in only pre-link format, which I know people are like, why are you going to upload that now? You'll see, it's not relevant. Well, it is, and it isn't always relevant. Update video will be out eventually. And yeah, that's going to do it for now, guys. Peace.